The psychological development is also really important to understand. So these years are often referred to by doctors from that real hormone perspective as reverse puberty. So when we kind of hit puberty, it can take quite some time for our hormones to find their groove. And this is the same thing, but in the opposite direction. In that, for many of us, we have had that stability for a period of time in our cycles to some degree, and not everyone. But as we approach this particular phase of life, our hormones start to kind of, be all over the place again. And it's interesting that that is actually happening and it's being referred to as reverse puberty, because what we also see when you look to the qualitative research where women are being interviewed about their experience of particularly perimenopause, you often find that they're struggling with similar themes, issues, psychological constructs that adolescents are. And those themes are along the lines of they're revisiting their identity. Who am I? Who do I want to be? They're also challenging and reflecting and changing some of their belief systems. We're also coming to terms again, and this is a slow journey, with the changes in our body, because, of course, there's a heck of a lot of changes that occur when we're going through puberty, and there's a heck of a lot of changes that occur when we're going through particularly perimenopause. And so that can really bring up, the challenges that a lot of us find in at the best of times with how we feel about our bodies, how comfortable we feel in our bodies. We also find that there's a really strong drive for autonomy and independence. And again, that's very, very common. And one of, these are all developmental milestones that we associate as being quite normal during adolescence. And while psychology, unfortunately, hasn't contributed much to this conversation in general, what you can see, as I said, when you look to the qualitative research, is that these are the things that women and non-binary people and some trans folk who are going through perimenopause will be grappling with. And when I looked at the literature and discovered all of that, it was like, this sounds like this sounds like the challenges and milestones of adolescence, and those themes are pretty consistent across the qualitative research during this period of an individual's life. So we've got both of these things going on. And if we kind of think of a spectrum of mental health from people who are really, really struggling through to those who are flourishing, we generally can kind of move most likely from people who are experiencing mental health challenges and really struggling with those, and they may well be either caused by or exacerbated by the hormonal picture of perimenopause. And as we move, I guess, more towards the middle ground, what you can find is a heck of a lot of subclinical presentations. And when you find that, you're finding those themes that are being kind of wrestled with by people during this phase. And as we move towards the flourishing end of the spectrum, what you're likely finding is people who have navigated those developmental milestones, wrestled with those psychological constructs or experiences, all the things that make us who we are, and found a new place to land. And so, again, we always need to meet our clients where they're at, whether that's in the real mental health struggle space or whether it's in this subclinical, or it's at the other end. And at the other end, they're flourishing and they just really want to kind of be living their best life. I guess the ultimate is when we get to help people who are in the struggle town move through this spectrum. And these are the things that we need to be supporting with them with and need to understand the significance of.